Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Monday morning. It is now the third day of February 2025, and this is the morning briefing. As I look out the window of the home weather office this morning, it's cloudy. The temperatures aren't all that cold, certainly not compared to what we had last week. It's been kind of mild as this AR continues to impact California. And just because we're under the cloud cover and under the influence of this moisture coming our way from basically the tropics, it doesn't necessarily mean it's raining all the time. And, well, that's the case this morning. Many areas are dry, and many areas will be dry throughout the daylight hours today. It'll be tonight and tomorrow that'll turn somewhat stormy. Nothing too big, nothing worth putting lots of exclamation points behind, but it's going to get rainy, windy, and snowy during the day tomorrow. So let's get to all of that. We'll start off with the radar, and yeah, as you can see, it's pretty quiet. There's some ground clutter that pops up here in the Sacramento area, right here. And then we do see, actually it might be birds taking off first thing in the morning. And then we do see some activity here on the west slope, and then a little bit farther to the north outside the range of the Davis radar. If I showed you the Beale radar, this would probably look a little bit more impressive. But still, you can see that this is a pattern that we'll likely see throughout much of the day today. There may be some sprinkles here and there. It may be a little drizzly on the west slope, especially north of Interstate 80. So Grass Valley and Colfax and toward Quincy and Gray Eagle. It'll probably be kind of damp today, but not like it's going to be a big time downpour. So yeah, we're going to have to really wait until tonight to get things going. So let me switch over to, excuse me, the satellite. And as you can see, we do have some nice cloud cover streaming into the area, but the best part of this is back in here. A little low developing out in here, some cold air behind it, some moisture out ahead. And as this goes by, they'll see the rain get enhanced late tonight and during the day tomorrow. There's also a little bit more moisture back in here that'll tap into as well. So all of that's going to come together to give more areas some rain. The rain totals around Sacramento and to the south of the valley have been pretty weak. To the north, they've been really good, and in the Feather River Basin, really, really good. But most other areas have seen very little rain. I think we'll see a better rain late tonight and again during the day tomorrow as this system goes on by. So if you've been disappointed with the rain totals so far at your house, well, perhaps we'll be able to do something about that tomorrow. So let me show you the HRRR, and yeah, it kind of shows what I was just showing you, that we have some light rain on the west slope. The valley is dry, and as we head into the afternoon hours, it stays the same. Let's go to, this is around mid-afternoon. Sure, we have rain in Mendocino County, Sonoma County, and Butte County, especially toward Paradise, and into the Quincy area, we're still getting rain. Nothing around Tahoe. No issues traveling in the Sierra during the day today, and still dry around Sacramento. This is around, 5 o'clock this evening. Then we're getting rain into Marysville. The rain will just be starting to get into the Sacramento area. And then this is this evening. This is around 8 o'clock this evening. We have rain back into El Dorado County, so Placerville and Pollock Pines are back into the rain, and eventually this line will sink to the south. Also, we'll start getting into some snow in the Sierra. As I mentioned, traveling in the Sierra during the day today, not an issue. But by tonight, we'll start seeing snow develop in the Sierra, and we will see some pretty good snow as we enter the day on Tuesday. Look at that rain overnight. And then this is Tuesday, and here's that next little wave that comes our way. This is tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. It'll be rainy. It'll be somewhat windy. It'll actually turn windier in the afternoon as that wave goes by. This is noontime on Tuesday. It'll be breezy. It'll be wet. It'll be snowy in the Sierra. So this is our stormy day, and probably the wettest day we will see this week. Thursday right now is kind of iffy. I'll get to that in a little bit. But that lasts into Tuesday evening. So for those of you that work outdoors, Tuesday is going to be a tough day to get stuff done because it's going to be raining in the morning, be raining in the afternoon, be raining in the evening. It'll be somewhat windy. Yeah, for contractors, Tuesday may be an office day. And then we still have snow in the Sierra, and the snow level should drop a little bit as we head into Tuesday night and into Wednesday, and then Wednesday is dry. That's Wednesday at 4 a.m., the valley drying out. Now, the HRRR has been consistently high in terms of precip, but I'll show you the total precip accumulation that this model has. For Sacramento County, it's spitting out 1.5 to 2 inches of rain, and in the Feather River Basin, another 8 or 9. That just looks like it's too high by a couple of inches. For Sacramento, my guess is going to be more like 1.5 inches of rain. Still, a really good rain compared to the half inch or so that Sacramento was seeing. And in places like Placerville, maybe 3 inches of rain. And I'd do the same for parts of Amador, Calaveras, and Tuolumne County, maybe 3 inches of rain. But again, I think the HRRR is a little bit on the high side. It has been very consistently high over the course of the last couple of days. So let me show you the NAM version of that, because this goes farther out in time, but it shows that same pattern during the day today. Rain steadily to the north of Sacramento, but certainly raining around Redding and Red Bluff and points north and on the coast, of course. But and these are areas that did have some street flooding yesterday and may again by late tonight and during the day tomorrow. This is 4 o'clock this afternoon. By 7 o'clock, the rain starts to settle in, so the model's in pretty good agreement about getting rain towards Sacramento and Elk Grove as we head into the evening hours. Then on Tuesday, here comes that wave. This is Tuesday afternoon. The winds pick up. The snow level's still relatively high, dropping down here. This is Tuesday night. That's when we probably get our best snow. And then Wednesday dries out. This is Wednesday at 7 a.m., a cool, dry morning with lingering snow showers in the Sierra that will be diminishing. So we go all the way through the day Wednesday. This is Thursday morning, and then this is Thursday afternoon. This model not as wet as previous models have been of the GFS, and I'll show you the GFS here in just a second. Interesting here that we have this low here. We have the 540 thickness line, which means we have some cold air around, so better snow producer perhaps. But a lacking ingredient here would be the lack of precipitable water, so maybe better dynamics, but less water to deal with. So let me show you that. This is the precipitable water on Thursday morning. And while it looks nice, I mean, there's, a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch of water over the valley. That's on Thursday morning. Well, compare that to what we're going to have on Tuesday. Now we have more than 1 inch of water. So I think what's going to happen here is that Tuesday, we actually will have some pretty good dynamics in the afternoon and evening that'll lead to some gusty winds as well. And so I think Tuesday may be the wetter day. You see this right here. This is Tuesday afternoon. That's some nice moisture, so that's how we'll be able to squeeze out better rain, and we have perfect orographic flow. But then on Thursday, this Wednesday, the very dry air, and then Thursday, that the precipitable water, at least with this model, is quite a bit less. So therefore, you get less precipitation. Let's go to total precip accumulation. And so this has 1.25 inches over Sacramento. Let me back this up a little bit. Yeah, so it has 1.25 inches, but still in the Feather River Basin, over those couple of days, it has 6-7 inches in El Dorado County, 2 to 3 inches, and on the west slope, generally around 2 to 3 inches. That seems about right. I think the NAM might be on a better track here. I mentioned the fact that it's also going to get somewhat windy on Tuesday. So for that, let's go over to Cansack. This is this afternoon. Windy in the Sierra again, but dry or rainy, but generally dry. And windy in the north end of the valley, and not much here in Sacramento, Elk Grove. So that's this afternoon. Let's get into Tuesday morning. This is Tuesday morning, and here now we have the classic southeast wind pattern. So you in places like Ione, as well as into parts of Calaveras County, El Dorado County. It's the east side of the valley that has sustained winds of 30, gusts of 40, 45, perhaps in a couple of spots, gusty around Sacramento. So that's on Tuesday morning. Stays true in the afternoon. So a gusty day as that line goes through. You can clearly see where the line is here. So that at that time in Solano County, Yolo County, the winds are diminishing, but in El Dorado County, and Amador County, and Calaveras County, and Sacramento County, it's windy. It's also windy on the crest of the Sierra. So a windy afternoon on Tuesday. Then we get into Tuesday night, and that wind dies down. And it's that classic southeasterly flow. So it's stronger on the east side of the valley than it is on the west side of the valley. All right, let's go ahead and look at the GFS. So let me switch this. Oh, actually, let me go back to the NAM for 1 second. Sorry to keep jumping back and forth. I did want to look at snow, total snow accumulation. So this is the NAM And this is showing what we pick up from that storm on Tuesday. The snow level will be variable, but I still think the highest elevations above 8,000 feet could see maybe 1.5 feet of snow, but down below, down around 6,000 feet, it may be closer to 1 foot. Either way, it's going to get messy. All right, let's take a look at the GFS. And let me switch over to precip type. Here we go. Because this will show a better idea of what we're expecting on Thursday. So here's the system on Tuesday. Looks pretty good. There's the break Wednesday. Now Thursday, we have the low here, we have the moisture, and we have the snow. But again, this may be overdone a little bit. And even if it's overdone, if I show you 24-hour precip, it's not showing that much around Sacramento. It's showing a little less than 1 inch, and it's showing about 1.5 inches on the west slope. And again, that's a 24-hour total, and compare that to what you see on Tuesday. So this is the Tuesday total, 1.5 inches, and then, the 5, 6, 7 inches here. And then the Thursday total is less, but it should be snowier. So let's see what 24-hour snow looks like. Yeah, 24-hour snow looks pretty good, more than 1 foot of snow likely. So Thursday may not be as wet in the valley, but it'll still be somewhat breezy, and it should be a pretty snowy day in the Sierra as well. Somebody in the comment section yesterday asked about when the resorts are going to get snow, and so we'll see okay snow on Tuesday, but Tuesday I think we're going to see variable snow levels. Thursday should be a good day to see a nice dumping. So for those of you that like to go skiing on Friday, you have the passes that are Monday through Friday, go Friday. Friday should be a good day, and then we should have some great skiing over the course of the weekend. One other thing I wanted to get to was the impact on some of the rivers with what we were expecting. Now, this is the forecast actually from yesterday. This was issued yesterday at 1:34. They're not expecting the next update to come until 9 o'clock, and I'm recording this around 8 o'clock. So this will get adjusted. It'll have to get adjusted here because this was their forecast, this green line, and this is where it actually is this morning. So as you can see, it's below forecast. So they were forecasting it to be around 5.5 feet, and it's actually about 1/2 foot lower. Either way, they're forecasting a nice little bump here going up to 7.5 feet. That's not an issue for the Cosumnes, and then less of a bump on Thursday. So again, an indication that better rain on Tuesday, less rain on Thursday. But either way, even that is higher than what we have right now. So you have one area of rain go by, a pause, another area of rain go by, a pause, and then another area of rain. A classic pattern here. So for those of you in Wilton that are, hearing and seeing that you're under a flood watch, yep, again, we have another flood watch for the valley. We'll have to see how heavy the rain is on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. There's a possibility we could see some street flooding around Sacramento. And by that, I mean big puddles, areas that don't drain well. But I don't anticipate there would be problems in homes. I just don't see that at this point. I think the streams and creeks are going to be able to handle everything just fine around Sacramento County, Placer County, that sort of thing. I just don't anticipate there's going to be enough to cause problems, even though we've had some rain. Recently, the rain over the course of the weekend in Sacramento, Placer, El Dorado counties, and even parts of Butte County have been below expectations. So the ground isn't as wet, so the runoff isn't going to have the same sort of impact as if we'd had 1.5 inches, 2 inches of rain in a place like Sacramento over the course of the weekend. So let me just put it this way. You can kind of do your own little, a chart on when you hear flooding. A, has your house ever flooded before? If the answer is no, then you're not going to see any flooding this time. If your house flooded from a major river flooding, like from 97 or something like that, well, this isn't going to be that case either. If your house is flooded because you had a drain down the road that doesn't drain very well and has a history of putting water into your driveway, that's the sort of thing we might see. So, yeah, flood is a very difficult thing to define, and it's also a trigger word because it can mean everything from the Sacramento River spilling out of its banks to a blocked up drain at an intersection. They both kind of mean the same thing, flood. So that's why you kind of have to differentiate what type of flooding you're talking about. So right now, I think we're talking about the possibility of street flooding. Obviously, major rivers are going to be fine. Creeks will come up, but they should stay within their banks. And again, most of that is on Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday night. I'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, make it a great day. I'll talk with you later.